The Queen. I just spoke to the Queen team. The Queen of New Zealand social media, TikTok 2024 Creator of the Year, Lisa Perese-Cullen. Wow.
I look at what I have now and I'm like, oh, thank God you didn't give up, girl.
What an amazing conversation this was. How she went from working in a call center for about 9 or 10 years to starting TikTok in only 2022, to winning the Creator of the Year TikTok Awards in 2024.
And the winner is Lisa Perese.
Coming from a tough background, but not letting it define her, having her own company now, an underwear brand called Harper James. And she talked about breaking the cycle and looking at her kids, as I do to mine, and realizing that is what breaking the cycle looks like.
There's so many things that I'm so grateful for, like painfully grateful for. And it might be something as simple as like a roof over my head.
That's gonna leave you feeling motivated, inspired, and happy. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this conversation far and wide. Enjoy. Unfiltered with Dave Latelli is proudly part of the Acast network. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to thank my good friends at Trust Motors, George, Jono, and all the team. Thank you for jumping on board as a major sponsor. Trust Motors, how car buying should be. Lisa, thank you so much for joining me, sis.
Thanks for having me.
How's it going?
It's going awesome. Very excited to be here.
And man, I was just with Jimmy Jackson, name drop. Jimmy Jackson, just before this, doing some mahi with him. And when I told him I was coming to interview you, he was going, she's the man. She is the woman. It's amazing.
Honestly, that's such a huge compliment from someone like Jimmy. Like, I swear I've been watching him for like the last 15 years,
Yeah. Yeah, man, he's been going for a long time. He's like the OG in this space, eh?
Yeah, I remember when I met him for the first time, it was at like a Warriors game, and he was buzzing out over seeing me, and I was buzzing out over seeing him, and then he knew who I was.
Wow.
Yeah. So
he was telling me all about you, and the stuff that you do, how amazing it is, and how funny he finds it.
You better send me some retros then.
Yeah, well, Amy, you should be doing. Give him a call and say, I don't want to do a review of some retros. Can you please send me a box of 3? Because that's what we were doing. So cool. So sis, we only have people on this podcast that I want to speak to, and that that are inspiring and that have been through stuff, but are doing really well. I think that it's important for a lot of the people that we work with, who are born into struggle and that don't have too much, but I want them to know it's possible. That they can, and not to let where they start in life determine where they end up. Yeah. And so that's why it's great to have you here. You're like I think you're one of the biggest content people around. You won the TikTok of the Year. What was that award that you won for Creator of the Year? Was it 2023 or 4?
Last year. Yeah. So that was November last year, and I won TikTok, New Zealand TikToker of the Year.
Wow.
Which was just like unreal. Like when I walked being there, what I loved about it is like, number one, so we all got sat at a table, New Zealand content creators, and it was like How to Dad, Terrell, Nix wasn't there, but Oliver was there, and it's just like, to me, they're such big names. Yeah. Like How to Dad's been doing it for 10 years. Terrell's amazing at it, and then you've got Nix, and I loved seeing, and then even Oliver, I just loved seeing all our brown faces there. Like that was unreal.
Yeah. Did you have like any imposter syndrome when you're sitting there? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, 100%. Like, one, I'm 30. Well, I was 34, 35. So like, I'm not the youngest person there. You know what I mean? So that kind of plays into it a little bit. You're often the oldest person in the room. And I also think when it comes to my content, like I don't do anything spectacular. There's no massive production. I feel like I don't do anything out of the ordinary, but still I found myself there.
And when your name was called, what was the feeling?
Honestly, like considering who I was up against, I thought like no way. So it was a massive shock, a huge shock. When I first started, I was just a stay-at-home mum. Yeah. And I still am a mum, and a lot of my content is just centered around mum life, married life, home life. And then, so it was so surreal to be up on stage winning an award for it.
Yeah, it's so amazing. And like you're saying, it's interesting, when you look at like the real sort of successful content creators around, especially this part of the world, a lot of them are our people. Why do you think that is?
We're such great storytellers. Like I've said this so many times, like we are such great storytellers and we're so natural when it comes to like the camera, not like in like performing, but also, I think it comes down to the storytelling. We, like a lot of the time when I'm in conversation with someone like Jimmy or Terrell, they actually have that natural, charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see how a lot of us can capture that and turn it into content.
Yeah, and I think like turning like everyday things that we go through, or even some tough times we go through, into making humor about it. It's something that, and then anyone else that comes from we get it.
Yeah.
And that's what's so funny about it, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
We're talking off camera about money.
Yeah.
And about something your grandfather said. What was that he said?
So he always said, this is my immigrant Samoan grandfather, moved here when he was like 18 years old, and always been a really, really hard worker, but he's always been so good with his money.
Yeah.
And I remember when, obviously, I've got my first job, he always said to me, if you want to be good at money, if you want to do it the right way, you've got to do it the white way. And I was like, whoa. But that's a single saying that I've taken like throughout my whole life.
Yeah.
Like when I started business, okay, I got to get all my accounts in straight.
Yeah.
When I started making content, like money from content creation, got to get all my taxes straight, got to get everything straight.
Yeah. Man, I wish I'd been told that. I would say, even speaking of Jimmy Jackson, I bet you he was told that too.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your childhood. You were raised in South Auckland.
Majority of the time, yeah. I would say that I'm pretty much like an Aucklander, like through and through. So I grew up in South Auckland, out in Rewa, till I was about 11.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we moved, and my mum was a single mum most of the time, and then we moved over to the North Shore when I was like 11. And honestly, at that time, like 2000, 2001, that was like moving countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a life I'd like never seen before. And so I grew up out in Perese-Cullen. My mum was a prison officer.
Ah.
Yeah, so we lived right
When
next
was
to the
this?
prison.
2000?
Yeah, so it would have been from like 2001 to about 2008. I lived out there.
Well, no, she looked after my uncle.
She looked after it. Yeah. It was actually quite funny because like my husband's stepdad, we obviously met, started hanging out, and then our families met. My mum was like, hey, I looked after you. And they remembered each other. So I was like, oh, that was funny.
Yeah. And out in Rewa, I think that's what some people don't get. Like a lot of people have never, like going over the bridge is like going overseas.
Yeah.
They've never been out of South Auckland.
Yeah. And I remember because I went to Weymouth Primary, and, primary school, back then, everyone was poor. So it was like not unusual. Then I went to like an intermediate over the North Shore, proper uniforms, special shoes, everything. And I was like, wow, this is like different. Yeah.
Yeah. We have so much respect for single parents, single mums. That's we look after a lot of people going through struggle with our food share. What was it like growing up, with a single mum? She must have been a hard worker.
Yeah, she had a very strong work ethic, I will say that much. She was pretty much a single mum up until I was 11. And then, so I grew up with two mums. So I met my other mum. And then, we were kind of, two-parent household.
Yeah.
That was interesting. That was an interesting teenage time.
Yeah, like, so tell us more about that. A two-parent household.
Yeah. Well, I guess like to preface, this is obviously like my part of the story. Obviously, my mum's got her story as well. But it was, so I grew up with two gay parents, which was great. And actually, like, thanks to that kind of upbringing, I grew up very open-minded.
Yeah.
Just naturally. There was quite a lot of violence growing up. And I had a younger brother as well, so we kind of experienced that element, like that period very, very differently. I'm the oldest child, so I'm going to handle it very differently. And so because of that, I think it definitely shaped quite a few things, like how I became as an adult, especially my 20s, and oh my God, my 20s.
I've got an elder son too, and, when I went, I think as an eldest you see more, right?
Yeah.
And it's, it can be tougher. And I remember being around, when you're young and you just feel helpless,
Yeah.
and you want to you just want to you want to help, but you want to help your parent, but you can't.
Yeah, yeah. And this is not to the funny thing is it's not to shit on my parents at all, because they didn't know what they didn't know. They grew up how they grew up, and it took a long time. They're literally best friends now. That's the hilarious thing. So they're not together anymore, but they're best friends. And I'm like, oh, where was that growing up? Anyway, this is where a little bit when my husband comes in as a bit of a blessing. Don't tell him I said that. Because we met when I was we got together when I was 19. When we'd get into disagreements, and the first thing I would do would be to fight, throw something, punch something, and he's the opposite. He's the complete opposite. He didn't grow up like that. He grew up poor, but he didn't grow up like that. And so my 20s was just really navigating, thank God he's not a fire person, because I think that would have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
But definitely taught me a lot about stability, calmness in a disagreement. When I think about my childhood, I had a great childhood.
Yeah.
I had I had a loving childhood. It was just there were just elements of that.
And where'd you meet your husband?
K Road.
Okay.
Met on good old K Road twice, actually. It was quite funny. We met one night, got each other's number. We were 18, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Started texting, and I was
Which nightclub were you at? You remember?
I was at Family. And he was I think he was at the one next door.
Yeah.
But again, because my mum, oh my God, okay, so this is also another thing. So they were drag kings.
Oh,
So if that wasn't enough, let's just add some drag king stuff into it. And so, I would go to K Road and help them with their shows, but also just watch their shows.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like,
what was that like, watching their shows?
That was so normal for me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? My parents, they really kind of got into that scene when I was in my teenage years.
Yeah.
I was like, that's perfect timing. Yeah, please do that when I'm a teenager. Yep. So it'd be they'd be leading the Pride Parade in the early 2000s.
Wow.
And for me as a teenager, I was like, oh my God, Mum. It's bad enough. But anyway, a different time back then.
Yeah.
They used to do a lot of drag king shows. And
Yeah.
so, I would just go to the show. It was a free ride into town.
Yeah.
It was free drinks. I kind of grew up on K Road, which was crazy
Yeah.
when I think about it. It's so normal, actually. But
Yeah.
when I think about it, I was like, no, it's a bit crazy.
Yeah, a lot of times the stuff we go through, we think's normal, and it's not
so
till later
normal.
on you're like, hey, wait a minute, that was pretty fucking out of it.
Exactly that. But again, still so grateful for those experiences because it just shaped who I am, But long story short, met him on K Road, and I remember we were at the shows, and he was like, "Oh, who are you? Who are you here with?" I was like, "My parents." My mum and my mum.
Yeah. What was his reaction?
And he was just oh, which one's your mum? I was like, the one with a beard on stage.
Far out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long were you going out before you had, how many kids you had?
We got two.
Two.
Yeah. So we were together 4 years. I was 22 when I had my first little whoopsie. Love her. So we've got two. And so we had her when I was about 22.
Yeah. And what's your hubby do for work?
Is scaffolder.
Oh, scaffolding.
Been scaffolding since he was 14 years old.
Far out. We need a good scaffolder. Our window broken. I need to get up high. And so when did you start getting into the content creation?
Gosh, 2022.
Yeah.
Actually. So I started because I was planning on launching a business, which is an underwear business called Harper James. And I knew I didn't get into TikTok because everyone got into it, I think, during COVID.
Yes.
I didn't know it existed when I was in COVID. And so I didn't get into it then, got into it in about 2022 when I was like, okay, I didn't know how to use the app, but I knew I had to be on it to promote business, right? It's just what you do nowadays. So I just thought, what if I just start making some muck around content?
Yeah.
0 followers, no followers. And I'll just figure out how to use the app and we'll just take it from there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what I started doing.
Far out. And that was like 2022, did you say?
Yeah, 2022. I posted like a couple of vlogs when I was in Queenstown getting married because I was like, oh, that's fun. Like that's something worth sharing, being in Queenstown, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Then I got back to Auckland and I was just back to my normal routine because I wasn't working at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like kids, house, and there wasn't anything exciting going on for me. So I was like, what else could I do? What could I do? So then I just started flipping up vlogs of me just like cleaning the house, and then I started doing vlogs like everyone else, like, hey guys, come with me, happy, bubbly, da da da. But after a while, it was that like I couldn't keep up with it because it's not my natural personality. Not that I'm a miserable person, but like I can't keep up with it. So yeah, I was like, what if I just like say what I'm thinking and I just do the vlog that way? Because again, I had like 200 followers, so who's gonna see it? And then in the span of like a month, I think I had like 100,000.
Wow.
And then a month after that, 150,000. And then a month after that, I'm on TV.
Jeez.
So that was like insane.
Yeah. What was the first one that went viral for you, that really kicked it off?
Just like literally just a cleaning video where I was just like cleaning my house and I was just being like a bit sarcastic, right? Because I'm cleaning after my family and I'm just like, these little bastards, like they're leaving cups everywhere, can't pick up the socks, but like not doing it in a derogatory way, just doing it in like a humorous way, like a sarcastic way. So I wasn't like putting my husband down or my kids down or anything like that, but I did that and then I hit post and then literally woke up next day, it was like 100,000 like, views, kept growing, and then I think off that one video it was like 50,000 followers, like overnight.
I should do one. I do one of those every night I come home. So I've been working all day, but I'll do the dishes.
I think what it came down to was like, I was like, how can I take something that like is uninteresting and make it interesting?
Yeah. That's epic. When did you know that you could start making some money out of it, monetizing?
Oh, when I started getting like DMs and like emails from like brands and companies, and it was like, oh, we saw that you use this cleaning product.
Yeah.
Or we saw you wearing these shoes, or we saw you like their product in my stuff. And then, they just started reaching out.
Yeah. And you're still doing your own company as well, eh?
Yeah.
And how can people get a hold of that?
Harper James?
Yes.
Well, we do have a TikTok. We have Harper James TikTok, where actually I'm not even the star of that TikTok. My mum is.
Wow.
And even that's like a full circle like moment. Like she works for me, and she just like she loves making content, and she's kind of starting to find her light in it as well, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
But that is a real full circle moment, like considering what we kind of went through, and now we're at a place where we can live together, like almost live together. She lives very close.
Yeah.
And work together.
Yeah. So you're doing amazing now with this content creation, got in advance, and even the relationship with your mum now, all the full circle stuff. Was there any moments where you thought, man, like any rock bottoms where you thought, I don't know if this is possible?
100%. Like I think because it took off so quickly, like it took off overnight, that it kind of like through not only myself but through my family, like my husband, kind of into just this very fast-paced, almost like threw us into the spotlight, right? So I started getting invited to like heaps of events and then started doing like heaps of brand deals, which was great. Like it's amazing to bring in a separate income, but with that came like quite a lot of pressure. And it actually caused quite a lot of friction between me and my husband when we first started doing it because he wasn't used to, I guess, a wife being in the spotlight. I wasn't used to it, but I was loving it. But he also wasn't used to me having my phone out all the time and recording and, putting effort into content.
Yeah.
So it was actually just wasn't a hard time, but there was definitely like some friction there.
Yeah.
But it was good in the sense that like kind of needed to happen so that we can iron out, what works and what doesn't work, and we can find out what our boundaries are, because I think that's so important when it comes to content creation. You have to set boundaries because it's so easy to get swept up in everything.
Yeah, I've seen it before with people, and it's just like every moment, it's just, phones out. And it's just that, I remember seeing a family on holiday. It was every moment, but I said, you guys got to also enjoy the holiday.
Yeah. And it
What's the
becomes a
balance?
bit like that.
How do you get that balance in it?
Well, I always have to remind myself. Well, luckily, my husband is a really great soundboard. Like
Yeah.
he'll always say, "Don't post that," or like that's maybe this isn't content. But not just him. It's also like you've got to set your own boundaries, and it's got to align with like your own morals. So for me, for example, like in the early days, I did used to include my kids quite a lot in my content. Now, not so much. They'll feature maybe here and there, but they're not the main source of content. Because I think what it boils down to is, like your morals and what everyone's comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah, so he sees those, when you see people get their phone out, smile,
Yeah.
look happy.
I am still that mum, though. If we're on holiday, I'm like, you better smile.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I have to announce it. I'm like, this isn't for the internet. This is just for my personal, this is just for us. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. So how did your husband get over, you getting this massive following?
Like we had a few big fights, not gonna lie, we did. But then he also saw how much I enjoyed it and saw how much it also did benefit our family.
Yeah.
But I think, more than anything, he saw like how good I was at it. And he was like, oh, you're actually really good at it.
Yeah.
I was like, I know.
Did you ever think that, that you could do this as a job and would do so well for your family?
Never. I think to myself, I worked in insurance, I worked in a call center for about 10 years beforehand.
Yeah.
And then I left that when we moved into the house that we're in now. And I was a stay-at-home mum for about 2-3 years. But it got to the point where I was like, I got to start looking for another job. Never in a million years that I think social media.
Yeah. So you've gone through that. What's when you think about tough times and rock bottoms, at any time growing up, rock bottoms there where you didn't think that you could.
Oh, how much time do you have? Oh my Lord. I think growing up, as fun as my childhood was, and it was, I actually have the most loving family, the funnest times. A lot of it was just in survival mode. So you didn't project what you were going to be in your 20s. You didn't project what you were going to be in your 30s. You were just kind of trying to survive and live day to day.
Yeah.
So it was nice, I guess, when I kind of did find content creation that I did for the first time see, there's a bit of a path, a bit of a future.
What did you use, going through mental struggles, being down, I call it being, stuck in a rut at the bottom looking up, thinking, oh man, there's no way I can get out of this.
Yeah.
What did you use to navigate your way through those tough times?
Oh, 20s was just full of emotion, and alcohol. 20s though.
Yeah.
But in my 30s, I think a lot of it is just gratitude. There's so many little things that I'm considering my childhood and how we grew up type thing. There's so many things that I'm so grateful for, painfully grateful for. And it might be something as simple as a roof over my head, stability. Those are things that I never in a million years thought that I would have. My marriage, my kids, things like that. So I think more than anything, it's yes, you can have a hard day and go through some shit 100%. But I think when I reflect on the bigger picture, I'm just more grateful to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talk to a lot of people going through tough times, and especially the kids that we see them, and you see them again. Fuck, man, this is some tough shit you're going through, and like you're saying, your parents just don't know any better. You know? And you were trying to help, but I'd speak to the kids, say, use this. I mean, as much as it sucks, use it as your superpower to drive you to be better, to drive you to be a success, not as an excuse. To go down that same path.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I often think everything is in chapters, right? And when I do look back and think about the things that me and my mum went through on our own, then teenage years and then 20s, it's the hard times come, and I feel the older you get, the faster you can get through them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the challenges were definitely in my younger years, for sure. But I think I look at what I have now and I'm like, oh, thank God you didn't give up, girl. Yeah. Thank God.
What would you tell to, the younger you? Is that what you say? Don't give up?
Yeah. It would be like, I often say, you have to go through the hard times. You have to. Like, if I was talking to her right now, I'd be like, it's shit. I know it's horrible. I know it's yuck. And I know that there feels like there's never a light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you there is. There is a light. And like everything that I guess, yeah, it's just little things. Like everything I have in my life, like the stability, the family, the roof over my head, grateful.
Yeah. Yeah, greatness comes from struggle.
Yeah.
True. If you just, yeah, I remember speaking to a guy recently, and he said, I'm still in this life. I said, yeah, but everything you're going through now it's a season.
Yeah.
Like it's preparing you for what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. And I often think, like, even though things are good now, they could go tits up next year,
Yeah.
Things could go wrong. That's just life. But I've proven that I can go through it time and time and time again and still come out. So that's just life. It's just going to throw you hardballs. And I think that's one thing that I try and peddle into my kids is you just keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, don't give up. That's why it's important they see us. If they see us go through tough times, it's okay.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. You just got to get up again, keep going.
The funny thing is, though, is like, even me and my husband, we talk about this. We're just like, we learnt a lot of our lessons through our childhood and the things that we went through, and there's no other way we could, like, you can't fake that.
Yeah.
And we look at our kids, and their hardest day is having to unpack the dishwasher. And I just like, how do we teach them, like, how do we teach them these things artificially,
It's so true.
Yeah.
I think when you come from, when you don't have much, you're poor growing up, and you want to break the cycle for your kids. Like, you want to give them fucking everything, right?
Yeah.
But I heard it one time, like, tough times make successful people, then successful people can make tough times, something like that. You think like, yeah, I often think that about my kids, you little bastards, like, like you got a fucking cleaner. We got a cleaner that comes in here. You don't have no chores. You got yard person. You don't have to mow the lawns.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we've been on holidays, like we took the kids to China and to Singapore.
Wow.
Just like took them.
Do you remind them when you're over there?
Yeah. And we're sitting at dinner and one of my kids eating like a lobster. And I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing? But then we want to give them all that stuff. But then it's like, okay, well, how do we teach them to be grateful and to appreciate when this is all they've ever had? Because I often hear people say, like, you're so privileged. But, like, for me, as a parent who works really, really hard, and my mum did the same, like, she worked hard so that I could have certain privileges. So I work hard so my kids could have certain privileges. So I don't always see that as a bad thing.
Yeah. How do you navigate it though? So our kids, at least they get, they'll be working in our food share, and they'll see, and I try and show them like, like we went to, Rome, Egypt on this big thing this year, Dubai, and just a holiday we could never imagine. Like it's just like a fantasy.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's their normal.
Yeah.
My youngest, he's 7, and you have to write like you go to their school, you see their paintings and you see their drawings, and they had to write like what their what they would like to do with their grandparents, their grandparent day.
Yeah.
And his was like, oh, go to a restaurant, eat eye fillet. like it's just crazy stuff. But you're right. Like, how do we? We want that. I wouldn't have any. We want that for them.
Yeah, yeah.
But how do we still make them to have an appreciation? Not everyone is blessed like that.
Yeah. Well, that's like my mum. Like my mum will come over to the house and she'll be like, "Do you guys want McDonald's?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, you got McDonald's money now." That's cool. Like all this thing, she'll just come in with treats and new stuff, and she'll just and it's amazing for her because I know that's something she wished she could have done for me.
Yeah.
So she kind of relives it through my kids.
Man, if we went to McDonald's or
it was a special occasion.
Georgie Pie. Remember Georgie? Oh, you might be too young for Georgie Pie.
No, I remember Georgie Pie.
Georgie Pie, the $1 menu.
Yeah.
We used to get dressed up in our number ones. Like, it was a fucking occasion.
Yeah. it was someone's birthday,
Yeah.
or it was like after church and like someone got paid or something.
Yeah.
But now, like my mum takes them, it's just a regular Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know?
But you must be so happy when you see your kids. Do you think that's the picture of breaking the cycle?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I love that they get to have that version of my mum.
Yeah.
You know, like she'll always be like my biggest supporter and like she's a massive inspiration for me. But I love that my kids get to enjoy that version of her.
Yeah.
Because I think as well, like there is probably, not speaking for her, but I know for her, there'll be a lot of guilt that she holds on to, you know, as you do as parents, like made all these mistakes. But her being able to be this amazing grandma, because she often said that about her mum, I had the best grandma.
She must be proud of where you're at now.
Oh yeah, she always says like she's grateful to be the parent that stuck around. I said, well, someone had to. So I think, I grew up with, like I said, just a single mum. Dad, I think, left when I was like 2.
Yeah. Have you met him? Have you met him since then?
I met him once when I was 27, because I have half siblings, and they're all up north, and this kind of opens another can of worms. But they're all from Whangarei, so they're all up north, and they all grew up very, very close, and together. Whereas out of all his kids, I think I was the outcast, so I didn't have anything to do with him or that side of the family. But yeah, I did meet him when I was 27. That was nice person.
Yeah.
But family-wise, I think I got to the age where I was like, actually, I have all the family I have.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
I had such amazing grandparents. I had, I'm so close with like my cousins, my aunties, my uncles. I'd never felt like I had anything missing.
Yeah. You didn't feel like you missed out.
Not really, no.
Do you still keep in touch with your half siblings?
Yeah. So we all, very interesting because we're all from like, back in the day. So we all got different mums.
Yeah. Well, in terms of like other content creators, who do you look up to in that space?
Honestly, so many. Like you got the likes of like Jimmy, as we've spoken about. He's like the pioneer. How to Dad, Terrell, like they all they started this way back when. But then you've also got like Louis, and then you've got all these new people like Paris and Ash, Louis' wife. And it's just, what I love the most is that everyone just almost takes what's authentic to them and almost like carves out like a whole new bloody stream.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing when you look at when I met Louis on here, when I saw the followers, holy crap.
Oh yeah, he's a machine. He's such a machine when it comes to content creation, but he's also somebody who loves it. Like
Yeah.
I know I listened to his podcast on the way here.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he talks about content creation, like he's super, super, super passionate about it. Like I learnt a few things.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what do you mean post consistently?
Yeah. So what's your strategy?
I haven't had one, and I still don't have one to
Really?
this day. Yeah. But when I look at it, I think if I had adapted a strategy like Louis, posted every single day, I probably would be in the millions in terms of followers.
Yeah.
But I've always said I just want to do content for as long as I enjoy it. Because
Yeah.
it is still fun for me.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, again, it's very easy to get swept up in it.
Yeah. When you say swept up in it, what do you mean?
I mean, like, it's very easy to be swept up in the brand deals. And like the events and like people wanting to get to know you. Because I find I've made some genuine friendships, like hand on my heart say I've made some amazing friends. But then on the other side of it, it is also a very transactional industry. Like some people will only talk to you because of who you are and your following.
Yeah.
Some people kind of always want something out of you, which is fine. It's business.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very easy to get swept up in it, I think.
Yeah. I hate being leveraged and it's only one way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let me leverage you back.
Like if this is going to be transactional, let's
Yeah.
be transparent about it and let's
Yeah.
go both ways.
Yeah. If you've got like someone that's just starting off, what would your advice be to that person?
It's going to sound so cringe, but you have to just be authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
Like it is, if you try and copy someone else or you try and mimic someone else's style or anything like that, and it doesn't feel authentic to you, you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to die out. And there's, again, my own example was like when I first started, my vlogs were very, hey guys, come with me, da da da. And then like a weekend, I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't do that. So now, like doing it my own style, my own way, it's authentic, and I can flip up a video in 30 minutes, because it's just natural for me.
Yeah. So no big production.
No big production, no.
Like you're saying, you want to do it while you enjoy it, so it doesn't want to seem like a job. So how often do you post? So you're not posting every day?
No, I should be. I should honestly take Louis' advice, because he is right. You should post consistently if you want to stay on the ball. But in saying that, though, it is a job for me. It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because, like, I obviously never thought I could make this into a job.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll say to myself, like, can't be bothered doing this. Can't be bothered doing a video. Can't be bothered. But then I remind myself, you used to have to get up at 6 o'clock every morning, breastfeed, go to work, da-da-da-da. You can get up and make a video, So you give yourself that little pep talk to, like, just do it. It's not even that hard. And it isn't. So every time I hear people somewhat complain about the hardships of content creation, it's not that hard.
You could be fucking digging holes for a living.
Yeah, exactly. I literally just think about all the millions of jobs I've had before, and I'd choose this a million times over.
Yeah. Have you ever met, other creators, and it's just like, because I was speaking to Javier about this, and when the camera's not on, there's just no conversation. And then
trying to get tea out of me,
And then it's on. And then it's on, it's like...
No, I don't think so. Although, like, I have come across, like, thankfully no one in New Zealand. Like, I will say that much.
Yeah.
Like, Kiwi content creators are just, we're bred a bit differently. But yeah, I have had some people like you talking to them, and then, they flip up your profile. And then they're like, and then their tone changes.
Yeah.
I've had that happen a couple of times, and I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Like, if there's anything like I learned, I guess, from my mum and my granddad, it's like you treat people basic principle, treat people how you want to be treated. It's not hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like a life thing.
Exactly. Yeah, so it should be no different in the content creator space.
That's what, I got Jimmy to talk to our team today. So what would you say to, people, who's, you went through some tough times, almost went to prison. Did you know that when you listened to his podcast, that he went, the North Shore burglar, they called him. They had a string of burglaries.
Yeah.
And they called him for one, I think, and they said to him, well, is there any more? Because if later on we find the fingerprints, let us know now while you're young. And he goes, well, there's this one, this, and then, because you're the little bastard, the North Shore burglar that's been doing it. And so he said, if you be a good person, if you do the right thing and be a good person, it's you can't go wrong. So true.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Far out. That's so funny.
Did you not know? Make sure you go and watch that one.
Yeah. I think I watched the clip where he was on the verge of going to juvie or something like that.
Like no one knew that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And he was just like a serial offender, like a serial burglar.
Yeah.
Because he's so skinny and stuff, he can get in and out of things,
Yeah. That's so funny how you could go, like, depending on, your childhood, your upbringing, you can go one of either way, right?
Yeah.
And because I often think, my mum will say this, like, I was such a good teenager, but I was such a good teenager because they had so much shit going on, like, that I just couldn't add to it.
Yeah, man, it must have been, we always say choices, choices aren't the same for everyone because people are born, in different situations where choices are just different. But, you managed to navigate that space and look at you now.
Yeah, that's so true though.
Yeah. Yeah, people always say, Dave, it's their fucking choice, these lazy brown people. It's their choice, with the kids we were.
That's so far from the truth.
Yeah.
And I think you probably understand because it's just like, when you don't know that there are other options, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. And that's what it's like a lot of the time if you're growing up, let's say you're growing up in poverty or you're growing up in violence, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So I didn't know when I got with my husband, I didn't know you could talk. What do you mean talk? Like when we have a disagreement, I
Yeah.
was like, you can talk about it? What?
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. We had Ben Pudua on here one time. He's an amazing guy, and he said to me, I realised my life was different when I was at my mate's house, and his dad said to his mate's dad said to his sons, "I love you," and he realised I hadn't heard that. I never heard "I love you."
Yeah.
So that's we're all born into different pole positions in life.
Yeah, like even something as simple as like for me, not growing up with a dad, right? And then you've got my husband who grew up with an amazing dad. And there's like little nuances that I see him like do or see other dads do, and I'm like, to me, I'm like weird.
Yeah.
Right, but to him, totally normal, which is the way it should be, So even like little things like that, I kind of have to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I tell my sons all the time, every day, multiple times, "Love you." Every message is finished with "Love you."
Yeah,
because it's something that we didn't hear.
yeah,
We didn't hear that.
yeah.
When in your success that you're having now, and you're going on these holidays, do you get haters on when people see that?
Because I think also I'm quite strategic about what I show online.
Yeah.
Because like I have an understanding of how I built my platform, right? So I built it being relatable, I built it being humble, I built it being at home. And so I am quite mindful of what I do share online, because I can't be like, 1 minute cleaning my house, the next minute I'm driving a Ferrari. Not that that's ever happened, but if that ever eventuated, I probably wouldn't show that, because that doesn't tie into how I became who I became. But it also doesn't tie into what type of person I am. I'm not a showy person. So when good things happen, like little wins, I keep that to myself. And that's, again, just setting those boundaries. But occasionally you get a little bit of hate online. I've had my fair share for sure.
What's because we all get hate, but what's one that's like cut through that you actually got pissed?
Oh, I wouldn't say I got pissed, but I got hurt, which was interesting. So when all the Māori protests were happening, I was in China. I was literally on the other side of the world. And then all of a sudden I started getting tagged in like all the protests and things like that. And I had no clue what was going on. And it is because I'm Māori, half Samoan. So I started getting tagged and all. And I was like, oh, what's the buzz? What's going on? And I come from a very like, one side of my family is obviously very hearty Māori. Other side, I'm more closer to my Samoan side. But yeah, I started getting tagged in all these posts, and then I started getting like all these hate comments on my videos because I wasn't saying anything about it. Like I wasn't sharing it on my platform.
Yeah.
But I was, on the other side of the world, had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, I'll figure it out when I get back home. But that was probably the first time where I started getting some like quite hateful messages and DMs. Some people were like talking about my kids, like my family. And I get it. A lot of people were just very, very, very passionate about it, which was great. But that was the first time where I kind of just felt sad in my content journey, because I felt like I had failed, but like I felt like I was being like targeted because I hadn't said anything, but at the same time I didn't know what was going on. But B, in a way it was kind of good, because it kind of opened up this almost like can of worms that I'd never explored before, which was the fact that I wasn't really close to my Māori side. I wasn't close to my culture. So that was interesting to navigate.
Yeah, what a disgrace. People message these things.
Yeah. And a lot of it was from like our own people, they were just really coming for me because I hadn't said anything publicly online on like my TikTok page, but I had, when I figured out what was going on, because one of my mums, she was actually, at the protest, and she was on the front page of the Herald. She sent me the photo of her, and I was like, well, that's so cool. Like, I'm so proud of you. But then it was like, I didn't share it publicly online, and because I didn't, that's what everyone got upset about.
Yeah. And when did that die down? How did you navigate through that?
I actually cried. Like I remember, like I sent a video to like Louis, like I think Louis and Ash, and I was like I just didn't know how to navigate it, because it was like I hadn't done anything, but people were commenting like really nasty stuff. But I think it got a bit hurtful when they started DMing me with like really nasty things, like especially like about my kids and stuff like that. So that was really hard.
That's
and then,
crazy.
you know, my husband was like, oh, just turn your phone off. I was like, I can't. Yeah, and that was the first time I was just kind of like, I don't know if I want to do it anymore. Like, that's unreal.
Yeah, that would have been a tough time going through that because it's like with myself, you know, I'm part Māori, half Samoan, half Māori, same as you. Not that close to my Māori side, more my Samoan side raised me. But
Same, yeah.
yeah, but it's sometimes it's from your own people that the stuff that can be. It's like I remember boxing, you know, and people would say to me, "Humble yourself. You're a disgrace to all your people." You know,
Yeah.
the worst message I got was, "I'm going to send you some rope to hang your family." But those are the ones when it includes your family is what hurts. Eh?
Yeah, that's what hurts. Like, yeah, I had one person that like stood at like, yeah, went around to all of my accounts and like took time out of their day to like DM me, and yeah, they were talking about my family and my kids and how I don't deserve to live here because and that's why I was like, oh, that's a lot. That was a lot. And then when I learnt about it, like, and I figured out what was going on, and then like I educated myself, which took some time.
Yeah.
It was almost like, oh, like if you say something, well then, you know, everyone's like, oh, she's just saying something now. You know what I mean? So you you got to a point where you can't really win. Thankfully, it was very like kind of brief. And it well, like the beautiful thing is, I think, because of the platform that I have built, I have so many like amazing supporters, if you will. So there was more positive than there is negative. But yeah, that was the first time where like it was just more when they started DMing me and bringing my family into it. And I was like, oh, that's unreal.
Yeah, and it is your choice, and you have to be educated in it. You know, we were here, and we were a part of, you know, we helped block off the motorway and all these different things. But, you know, I had to educate myself, and I was lucky enough to have people that could educate me in it because I didn't know, you know, I'm not close to that side, but,
Exactly.
but you know, I wouldn't just do anything if I didn't know about it.
Yeah, exactly right. But thankfully, yeah, like I said, I learned from like my mum who was at the protests, and then I thankfully linked up with quite a few other like content creators who, again, way more educated, way more informative. So I was like, okay, well, you let me know what you need from me because you know more than me. So let me push you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, why would I push myself for that topic, if that makes sense?
Just let me know what you want me to share.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. What's your goals now? How big do you want to take this? Where do you want to go with it all?
People often say like bigger is better. But for me, I'm so happy where I am and I'm so happy for what I have. Because like I said, the bigger you get, the bigger your platform gets, the bigger your reach, the bigger people's opinions. And the more it does tend to take over. But yeah, like I said, I'm so happy where I am. I actually don't have any major plans.
I think it's just like maintaining.
Growing. But I think, like I said, my biggest focus, like in life in general, is like my business and my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as long as I've got those boxes ticked, then yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. The one thing about, like, you know, bigger is not always better. It's getting to a point where being rich to me is just having the ability to do what I want with my family.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah. That's literally hit the nail on the head, is being like, I love the fact that I'm time rich, you know, and that like, we're obviously not loaded, but being in there, like being financially secure, being time rich, being able to do what I like, when I like with my family, that's probably the best thing about this whole thing.
What would you say to a young girl that's going through tough times, you know, stuck in that rut still? What would you say to that person?
Oh, God. Honestly, like if it was me, it's just the fact that you have to go through it. You have to go through it. You have to learn the lessons. And I often think that you can't have the good without the bad at all. Like that life just doesn't exist. But through the bad, there's always going to be something to learn. You always come out bigger, better, stronger on the other end.
So true. Last question, sis, that I ask everyone that comes on is, what's your why?
What's my why?
What keeps you going?
I think when it comes to like content creation, what keeps me going is actually the messages that I get from other women who have maybe found my content, and I remember, like, for example, I had a young girl come up to me and she just had a baby, and she was just like, she saw my content, she was like, you know, you made me laugh at what I thought was a really, really boring life. So probably what keeps me going is just being able to make people smile, being able to make them laugh, being able to make them feel seen. That just brings me a lot of joy.
Feeling seen. It's so important.
Yeah, you don't have to be doing anything amazing. But yeah, that's probably the joy I get. Especially when I get people I get such an array of people stop me. Like, I remember I had this woman who stopped me and she was like covered in diamonds. She was like rich as. And she was like, I love your content. And then the next thing I get like plumbers, like husbands jump out. Oh, we love your content. Like, it's just an array of people. And that's what I love the most.
That's so amazing. Long may it continue.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Thank you so much for joining me, sis. This was, man, it's just everything we do, the guests that we have on is all about showing people that it's possible. And you certainly do that. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Free therapy.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for the support. It really does mean so much to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment on our videos, and share this out. These stories are so inspiring, and they need to be heard by everyone. Thank you so much, team.